All right. Hey, it's FFQA, and no, I'm starting over. Christian threw me off. It's FFQA, and I am your host, Benjamin J. Thanks for checking out this video or listening to this audio cast. But March is going amazingly. I don't know what it is. My theory is that we are finally seeing a rebound from everybody that tries to cram in during the holidays. Here in Chicago, it's finally started to feel a little bit like spring. So people want to sort of embrace the spring vibe, change their styles. I know I've been going shopping a lot lately, trying to get some new styles going. But yeah, people are, not just spending their time at home watching Netflix. They're actually going out, hanging out with their friends. They want to be seen. So that's my theory. But honestly, both of our locations right now are on track to have their best months that they've ever had. So things are good around here. Let's do some questions and give some people some answers.
My daughter's new to the industry and is struggling with the learning curve. I assured her we all make mistakes along the way and that it's the best way to learn. Can you share an uh-oh moment that hurt but didn't hold you back?
I could share so many uh-oh moments that I don't know if YouTube has enough time for us to be able to go through them. The one that always comes to mind for me, and I feel like I've shared it on a video before. I don't know if it was on FFQA, but when I was first getting started, I feel like one of the things that you are most scared of are bangs. Like it's easy for us to cut the back of a haircut because the guest isn't going to see it, but then as soon as you go to do the front, it's terrifying. And that's probably why when you're in school, everybody runs to get their learning leader, like, oh, you got to talk to my teacher because they're the bang specialist. They don't even let us students cut bangs or whatever. But so anyway, I had a guest come in. We were doing the haircut. Haircut turned out really well, but she wanted to do straight across laser fringe. And I was just nervous about doing it. And so, I did the try and talk her out of it during the service. I don't know, there are a lot of maintenance, da-da-da. She still wanted to do them. So nervously, I went and cut them, and I probably left them a little long, and she felt that they were still too long. I thought that they looked awesome though. And so she asked me if I could take them shorter. And I said, sure. Take them a little bit shorter. She's like, can you take them a little bit shorter again? And I thought, I shouldn't, but if the guest wants them shorter, the guest wants them shorter. Took them a little bit shorter. Immediately she starts crying. And I think it's, when it was the first time, hopefully it was the only time that I made a guest cry, but it made me feel so devastated. Our whole thing at Hair Loft is all about building confidence and instilling, empowerment into our guests. And here I have this young girl who's trying to be a model, crying in my chair. And so in the moment, I didn't know what to do. More embarrassingly, I went and got my mom and was like, Mom, I need you to come over and help me. And so she talked her through it. A couple weeks they're gonna grow out anyway. But in that moment, my initial reaction was, I'm never going to do bangs again. We're a bang-free salon. We only we only do haircuts. We don't do bangs. And obviously that's not reality. You can't do that. And so the solution to that challenge was to double down on learning how to cut that and prepare myself for future situations when someone was going to want to cut that I didn't, have the experience doing. So I went around the team asking, how do you cut this? How do you do that? I started watching more videos. I grabbed doll heads. And now I feel really confident and comfortable, and even working with our proteges, of course, being able to teach them how to cut in those situations. And so whatever your situation, whatever your daughter's situation is, the answer is not to run from it, it's to double down on the education so that you can get through it.
If you only have one stylist that specializes in a lucrative service, should the salon keep the regular pay scale?
Yeah, I don't see why the pay scale would change. The advantage to that stylist is that they are the only one that does that service. And so while they, I don't know if they're specializing in it, but if they are the only one that's capable of doing it, all of the salon traffic that wants to do that service is going to go there. Maybe it's extensions or super silk or balayage. My guess would be that if that stylist starts to build traffic, build a clientele for that service, you're going to have other stylists that then go, ooh, maybe I should get certified to do that, or maybe I want to take on that service. And so if you change the pay scale, you know, if you're, let's just say you're 50-50, and you say, well, for that one service, when you do it, I'm going to pay you 60-40, but then this other stylist then picks up and starts wanting to do that service. Now you're going to do it for them, and then you got to do it for the third one. And so it just ends up deteriorating your business model. And so add the services that people are excited about, let people specialize in things as long as it fits your brand and your image and your business, but don't change your payment plan just because one person wants to do something.
I want to do a kids promotion. Our salon currently charges $10 for kids cuts. I want to do something with funky colors and designs as well as normal haircuts too.
Ooh. Kids are not my thing, but I'm going to take myself outside of my world and go here. I would imagine that at a $10 per cut, the challenge is that they're not really that valuable, you know. If you have set up your service menu based off of the dollar per minute that you need to be making, then perhaps it works that way. If you haven't, I would be surprised if a kid's cut at $10 is making you money. And so while you might want to promote it, one thing to consider is that every time you're doing a $10 kids cut, that is time that you can't then spend doing a full priced haircut or a color service or the more lucrative services that you have on your menu. In relating to doing a kid's promotion, I think that doing like a funky haircut or a color thing might be fun to do, but I don't know how engaging it's going to be in getting people to come to the salon. Now, it's been a long time since I was in grade school, but I remember our school had a fairly strict dress code when it came to the colors that we could wear in our hair. I don't know if that's standard for most schools or not. It seems like kids are able to get away with stuff more easily now, but that's always been my mindset. And in terms of the time of year that you might want to do it, I would say probably sticking to more classic haircuts and then tying it around, you know, school photos, graduations, you know, prom, I guess, is coming up in May sometime. So, but thinking about like what is the school calendar and then tying your promotions into that calendar. And of course, I think choosing images that are going to connect with the parents more than the kids, because the kids aren't the ones that are going to be paying for it.
I have family that says they want to get on my books but keep seeing their current stylist. I know I'm new, and if they aren't comfortable with that, then I wish they would just say so. Should I say something or just ignore it?
I would recommend just ignoring it. Now, I don't do any of my family's hair. I only have a couple of friends that come to the salon, and I know that like when we're in school, at least when I was in school, they taught us about the circle of influence. I think that's what it was called. And the idea is that your friends and family should be the ones that come to see you, and you know, from there you sort of branch out to their friends and their friends. And I think it's solid advice, but in execution, it's not how things work anymore. Almost everywhere that you go online in any of the hairstylist forums and things, you will see people complaining about doing friends and family or asking how do you do friends and family. And the reality is that there is something about the relationship that then affects the price. And so we don't feel comfortable oftentimes charging our friends and family full price. And so if your family feels more comfortable going to a stylist, whether they said, hey, we really want to come and see you, we'd love for you to do it, but they continue to go somewhere else, they're comfortable paying full price to go somewhere else. It allows you to build a clientele with people that are going to be coming to see you at full service. And I think it's a win-win, you know. There's also the awkwardness that if anything goes bad doing your friends or family, that creates a bit of a weirdness, awkwardness in the relationship. And so I would say let them keep doing what they're doing. Don't let it bother you. Maybe they feel bad about not coming to see you, but just let it go. Let it go.
How do you determine your prices for a color correction?
So I think that corrective color situations are the most taken advantage of situation in salons. Almost every time that we've had a corrective color situation come in, it's actually a fairly easy fix. You know, it's not that much longer than a standard application, but whatever the situation that you're getting into is, just line up the prices for the services that you end up doing. So if it's a base retouch, highlights, a toner, whatever it is, just charge them what those services are. Now, if you end up using additional product that's beyond your standard application, so if your base retouch is 2 ounces and you end up needing 4, charge them for an additional application. In our salon, an additional application is $15 per application. And so that will compensate you for the additional product. It will also take care of the additional time that you're spending. And as long as you are upfront with the guest and give them a general, fairly accurate price in the style profile or the consultation, they should be on board. But if they come in for a corrective color situation and you don't tell them anything and you just keep doing stuff and using more product and spending more time, and then they get to the end and it's a $500-600 service, they're probably going to be pretty freaked out. So yeah, I don't think that corrective color situations are as scary as people make them, but they always get built up into a really big situation. So this was FFQA. If you have a question for the show, drop it into the comments if you're watching this video, or you can email me. Ben@thehairloftltd.com is my email address. I would love to hear from you. What did you think of the advice? Do you agree with my answers? Let me know. Until the next episode, we got the Salon Sidekick podcast coming out on Monday. So tune into that, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. The battery's almost dead.